Hey everybody, we're here in Ireland and we're doing a prophecy conference, and we're with Tom, Billy, Ken, and Mondo, and we're going to do a 3-country tour, and we're starting here in Ireland. And it's significant, the fact that we're doing this in Ireland, because prophecy in this part of the world, in Europe, is virtually dead. In America, it's dying. Only 2% of the churches in America even talk about prophecy. So we felt called and led by the Lord to come to Europe. Obviously, there are remnant believers here in Europe. In Northern Ireland, there is a group of remnant believers that still believe in prophecy. They're smaller in numbers, but they don't have a lot of pastors that will talk about prophecy or current events or anything that's going on. And so this is an opportunity for us to come here as Rock Harbor Church and expand our ministry into Europe, to a place where this was the cradle of Christianity for a long time. But now it's what we call in missiology a burnt out district, which means the Gospels went through, and now there's nothing left really but secularism, neo-paganism. There are remnants of Christianity still intact, but it's very, very small. So we're here to help these remnant believers be able to connect dots with what's going on currently. A lot of the global government push is coming right out of Europe. And just being in the country for a few days, we have realized how influential the European Union is and the World Economic Forum is all throughout Ireland. And I'm sure when we go to Scotland and Italy, we're gonna see it there as well. But just as an example, one of the big traits that they want in Ireland is to have everybody on electric. I noticed at the airport that they were boasting that that Ireland's all electric, which is a problem, because that's their way of killing fossil fuels, just like they're doing in California and the United States. And this is part of this global agenda for control, and it's to kill fossil fuels. Well, here you are in Ireland, and everyone's on electricity, and they've virtually killed fossil fuels, and it destroys their economy. Ireland's one of the poorest places in the European Union, and it's because they don't allow, free market capitalism to have its way. There's a lot of socialism in these countries here in Europe. But anyway, you can see the influence of this mindset. Even on the TV, they don't get any channels that they can get regular news. They all get a slanted news. They get news from the BBC, and the BBC is like CNN or MSLSD. It is all messed up. I mean, they're getting a slanted story. So we were watching them do an interview on the BBC, and they were saying, this has been record heat in Europe. And then they instantly go to, well, this is caused because of climate change, and climate change is destroying everything. And it's just like they have this mindset that they can't get out of. It's a compliant mindset. It's coming from the World Economic Forum. It's coming from the UN, and it's virtually everywhere in Europe. And so it's unfortunate. But this is the problem when you don't have any other streams of news that can get you the right information. So that's one of the advantages of us being able to come here, is to be able to share not only biblical truth, but to marry that with prophecy and how that works in their lives and what's going on. So folks, one of the takeaways from being here in Europe is the fact that this brainwashing aspect that comes from the UN and comes from the World Economic Forum needs to be resisted. When you come to a country like this, it's a beautiful country and great people, but they don't have the right information, and because of that, they just simply do what the government tells them to do. If the government wants them to wear a mask, they wear a mask. If vaccination. If we need to go electric, they just go electric. And you can see this kind of brainwashing aspect that's going on. It's very, very scary. And so this is the thing that we want these remnant believers to think about, is that they need to push back on this. They need to wake up to the agenda of control, basically. And so we're hoping that being here and teaching prophecy is going to help these believers connect dots with what's going on in the world. The other takeaway by being in Europe is what's happening here is going to happen to the rest of of the first world, the Western societies, if people in America and Australia and Canada, South Africa, whatever, don't push back. Because Europe is about 10 years, maybe even 5 years ahead of where America is going to be if America doesn't stop. And it's pretty scary to watch this, because it means you'll have less freedom. You'll have less control over your life. They'll be dictating to you how to run your air in your house, how much gas you can buy. And especially if they go digital currency, then it's game over at that point in time. So when you're in Europe, it's a beautiful place and the beautiful people, but there's something nefarious in Europe. And let me explain what that is. The thing that's nefarious is Rome. And I'm not talking about Rome, Italy. I'm talking about the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire is still with us. And according to Daniel chapter 2, we're in the two-leg phase of the Roman Empire. And that means that there's a one leg somewhere stationed, and then there's an eastern leg stationed. If you study how the Roman Empire, when it was unified, split up and then migrated, what you will find is that the eastern portion leg of Daniel's metallic man is in Russia. It's centered in the Russian area. And then the western area is centered in Germany and basically Western Europe. And so if you understand that, and then the next stage is to go to a global government, then I can tell you which one of the legs will win. Because in the eastern leg, where Russia is, they want national totalitarianism, with Putin obviously leading the cause on that. In the West, the western leg here in Europe, that is the global government mentality. And so based on that, we already know that the western leg is going to win this war. They're going to usher in globalism, because that's the next phase. So Russia will be somehow diminished. Putin will not be able to do his thing in Russia, because the globalists from Western Europe will win. And that will eventually usher in the global government, the 10 King Confederation of 10 global confederations all over the world. And then eventually in the tribulation, the Antichrist will seize power from these 10 kings and control all of the world. But the key is, we're in the western part of the Roman Empire. We're in the western leg of Daniel's metallic man. And that's where you see this scenic view behind us, these rolling hills, and it's beautiful. But underlying is an evil spirit of Antichrist. A spirit of Antichrist that's coming in to usher in the global government and eventually the Antichrist himself. And so there's a weird and odd feeling you feel when you're in Europe. You just know that something's not right spiritually. You're walking around and people are like in a spiritual stupor, and they don't understand what's happening. They don't understand that there's a tsunami coming and that Jesus is coming back in the rapture to rapture the church, and then the world's going to be plunged into a 7-year tribulation. And Europe is ground zero. This is where it all starts happening. The Antichrist comes from this area, the western area. We don't know which country. We know he's a Gentile. We know he has Roman descent, according to Daniel, but he's going to come out of Europe, and this guy's going to rule the world. So we are in ground zero. So when you're walking around, you just feel this eerie feeling, and I think it's because of the spirit of Antichrist. But again, what is our job? Our job is to warn. Our job is to alert. Our job is to be a watcher on the wall, to let people know, hey, this is going down, and you need to get right with the Lord. You need to get saved. And if you are a believer, it's time to get busy for the Lord. We need you to be salt and light. We need you to be doing your job and being a watcher on the wall, warning people and getting the truth out about what's going down. Because these are evil days. The spirit of Antichrist is working, but we have to be that salt and light. So with that being said, hey, make sure you get our app, our Rock Harbor Church app for your devices, whether it's your phone or iPad. Also, if you need information about finding a good church, go to our church tracker online, and you can find maybe a church in your area, possibly. And then also be praying for us. We're under heavy spiritual attack always. And also, if the Lord puts it on your heart to help us financially, every penny counts, especially doing this ministry, going global, going international, to get the word out. We need help. So if the Lord puts it on your help to help us financially, that would be great. And remember what the Lord said. When you see these things begin to happen, look up, lift up your heads, for your redemption draws near. God bless you. We'll see you next time.